Hey guys, so if you're wondering why the quality of this video is so low, that's because I'm editing part of this video on that computer down there. And I have to record it on an old Sony camera that records in MPEG format, just so that I can get the footage onto these video editors. Now because this is a 32-bit computer, you're really going to be limited on what apps you can install, since most applications in 2023 stopped supporting the 32-bit architecture a long time ago. So for example, the Blender application, which is a 3D program, totally cut off support for the 32-bit applications back in 2019 with Blender 2.81, and Blender 2.8 was the very last version that supports the 32-bit architecture. Now the CPU is only 32 bits, which means that I won't even be able to put it on Windows 11, and because it doesn't support the SSE2 instruction set, I can't even put Windows 8 on it, so Windows 7 is the latest Windows operating system that goes onto this computer. And what's pretty mind-blowing about this computer is that it actually runs not that bad. Like, I click and then it opens almost immediately. Now if you're wondering why I put Windows Vista on this computer, it's because the graphics drivers and the audio drivers for the components that are inside this computer can only support up to Windows Vista. Now without these graphics drivers, I wouldn't have been able to get this amazing Aero-themed Windows Vista installed, and I also wouldn't have been able to go up to 1080p. Now the Socket 478 was mostly Pentium CPUs, and there are only a handful of Socket 478 CPUs that actually do support Windows 10, but this CPU is not it. And this is one of the first CPUs with hyperdrive. So this CPU only has one core, but you can see here that Windows is seeing it as two different cores, which is pretty darn cool. And that could help speed up the video editing experience by a little bit. Now you do have to keep in mind that the type of videos that were being edited back then were not full HD videos, because full HD was not very common at the time, and you could really only edit full HD videos back then on like really powerful computers. Now this computer also has a gigabyte of DDR RAM. Now a gigabyte of RAM is so small that even just a simple animation like this can really slow the computer down. And you see that? That's all the stuff that's in RAM. All this other stuff has been saved to disk, which means it's caching. And if I open the Task Manager, you can see that it's already taking up all of the RAM, which means that After Effects has always been a massive memory hog.